Hey everybody, happy Valentine's Day. I'm really excited to be coming to you live talking about a topic that has been huge lessons for me in. And I'm excited to share this with you. So, how do we break through the brick walls that keep showing up in our lives, whether it's in our relationship or our career? And this has been such a top of mind topic with a few people I've been talking to recently. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to share with you what I've learned. So, it might be in work, it might be in relationships, but you might be saying to yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Like hands up, likes, who here is watching and is thinking that to themselves, why does this keep happening to me? And so the key in that I want to talk about is, because how do we get through that? How do we shift? How do we change that from happening? So the key to that is identifying the patterns. So we need to identify the patterns as to why this keeps happening. And it's almost like every time it's happening, another brick is laying in our wall, right? But here's what we have to do to get there. The first thing we have to do is we have to wrap our heads around, and this is a tricky one, okay? We have to wrap our heads around that we are actually doing something. We are actually attracting something that is creating this situation. That's a really hard one to wrap our heads around. And this is no matter what, 100%. You could tell me any situation, I would probably be able to explain to you how you're attracting that or manifesting that. And it's a hard one, but we need to take responsibility to be able to make the change. So that's the very first step. But the second thing we need to do is we need to identify, where are these patterns coming from? Why are these patterns happening? Why does this keep showing up for you? And until you recognize the patterns of the things that keep happening, nothing's going to change. It doesn't matter how many jobs you change. It doesn't matter how many boyfriends you have. Until you take responsibility and identify the patterns, nothing's going to change. And this I know for sure, right? Because you're going to attract the same situation over and over again until we learn the lesson. Like, how many of us have had that happen to us in our lives, right? Same thing. Then we learn the lesson, then boom. It's like we've broken through the wall and now there's so much greatness on the other side, right? So here's how this is showing up for me, because I always like to kind of give examples because I like to learn from examples. So how it showed up for me was, young person dating lots of different guys, or so I thought. And then I was with dating this one guy. And, I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This guy's so amazing. And my mom was like, you're going to marry him. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyways, and he broke up with me. And I was like, oh my God, what's just happened? And I literally took this moment and was like, I need to stop and reassess everything, because I am doing something in this situation to attract the same people over and over again. It's like the same situation. It's like Groundhog's Day, right? And so I did that, and I didn't really know what the pattern was yet, but I just was kind of like trying to explore and identify. And then I met this guy and I started dating him, and he was so nice, like so nice. And you know what? I felt so uncomfortable. And what I realized was that my pattern in those relationships was that I was attracting guys that probably weren't that nice to me because that's what I felt comfortable in. And until I was used to it, I was totally fine with it. It was an easy place for me to be. But put me in a place with a guy that's actually really nice, and I was totally uncomfortable. And so while I dated this guy, I just kind of sat with it. Like, I knew he wasn't kind of the guy for me or anything, but I sat with this feeling like, whoa, this is really weird. I need to just sit with this and explore this and keep going with it. So I did that, and I had these realizations, and then boom, my brick wall broke. I met Chris, my husband, and that was it, right? Straight away. So another way that this showed up for me in my work Because I think so many of us working, you know, we hit these walls. Why does this keep repeating itself in different jobs, different situations? So for me, it was showing up where I was working for a company in Melbourne, and I was working for this woman that was actually like abusive. Like, it was terrible, like just really not nice, and it was a terrible place to be. But I loved the people I worked with, and I loved what I was doing, so I just kept sticking it out, even though it was like completely destroying me inside. And what I realized after exploring it and I trying to identify it, because these feelings had been there for me, showing up in other areas of my life too, with other relationships that I'd been in and other work environments I had been in. So what I realized, though, was really interesting, was that I was when I was in a position where someone was in a place of power above me in work, and they were older and, you know, really established and stuff, I was just totally powerless and just would not stand up for myself, and just, you know, did whatever they said and didn't do that, didn't empower myself. And I realized I was completely in this work situation repeating a total situation from my life in another relationship. It was just now showing up with someone I worked with. And so it's like the lessons, they keep showing up until you learn it, right? And so for me, the lesson in that was, I need to fucking stand up for myself. Like, not okay. I deserve better, and I need to stand up for myself. And it does not matter who you are, how old you're, thanks, Karina. I know, totally worst feeling ever. Doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care how much power you have. I don't care if I don't have another job to go to. I walked in that door, because this is what is so important. I walked in that door and I said, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I walked out the door, and that was it. It was over. And they were all like, oh my God. But I was like, I need to stand up for myself. Boom, brick wall, gone. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So identify, explore, investigate. What are those patterns for you? And you know what? Grab a good friend and ask them to help you identify. When we're in the middle of something, it's like this, right? We're so close to it. You can't see it. You need someone else to come in and give that perspective. Whether it's a therapist, like I've gone to plenty of therapists in my life to try and get help with my brick walls to knock them down. Whether it's a good friend, whoever that is for you, take the time, because that's gonna be the key to solving your mystery and identifying the patterns, having those realizations, and then boom, brick wall down. So please let me know if you guys got any value out of this. Comment below. If there's someone that you think needs to hear this message, please tag them. I love doing these videos with you guys, and I love your comments and feedback. Shine bright, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.